What's up, folks? I'm Dwayne,
I'm Alicia.
and this is Blackboard Gaming, where we teach you about all these great board games that are out there.
Waiting to be played by you and yours. I'm a simple man, don't wanna complicate ya.
Hey, everybody! So, one of the games that we wanted to get to the table over the summer was Ark Nova. Alicia has shown interest in playing Ark Nova. As you know, Ark Nova is one of my top 10 games of all time. And so we finally got it to the table, which is one of the things that prompted this video. Board games can be intimidating. So, first off, before we get into that, Alicia, did you like Ark Nova?
So, if you have been following us for a while, you know that theme drives me. So, I really did enjoy Ark Nova. The first thing that attracted me, of course, is what's not to like about putting together your own zoo. However, this is a lot more involved and complex than the cute New York Zoo, which I love too. So I love the complexity, I love the depth, and I love the mechanics. So I really enjoyed Ark Nova.
And that's coming a long way, because I remember when I first was trying to show her Ark Nova and I was playing the solo mode so she could understand what's going on.
Okay, so in all fairness, I'm pretty sure it was during the school year and it was a work night for me. And I'm sorry,
Nope, it was not a work night.
It might not have been a work night. It might have been a Friday or a Saturday. But still, y'all, I just didn't have the patience.
It was intimidating for you. So we worked our way up to it, and we finally got it to the table.
Yes.
Now, so, like I said, the name of this video is called Board Games Can Be Intimidating. What intimidated you about Ark Nova initially?
Well, there was a lot. There are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of decisions to make. There are a lot of things to consider. So that was a lot. And with so much to keep track of and pay attention to and be aware of, I needed the mental and emotional energy to overcome all of that. And so in the summer, I'm not as stressed. My plate isn't as full. And so I had the mental resources to devote to invest in and learning how to play this game and enjoying it.
Now, we're going to mention some other games during this video, and I went to Board Game Geek. It's a beautiful, wonderful website that has a lot of information. So thank you guys over at Board Game Geek. And they have a rating of complexity for all their games.
Okay.
And so their rating is like from 1 being easiest, light complexity, and to 5, which is heavy complexity.
Okay.
And so I wrote some of these down.
Okay.
So for Ark Nova, the rating is 3.77 out of 5.
Okay, so it's almost a 4.
Yeah, it's almost a 4. So it's like at the high level of medium complexity.
Okay.
You know? So we'll start with that. Board games can be intimidating. There are several things that make a board game intimidating. One of the things is what you mentioned, complexity.
So what makes Ark Nova complex is you have to make a lot of decisions and you have to consider a lot of factors in each of those decisions. So that's one thing that makes it complex. Another thing is, in order to achieve your goals, you have to plan steps ahead.
Yeah, you do, because you have these action cards. But the thing is, there's a level of actions you can take. So there's 1 through 5. So you're trying to figure out what action card you're going to use in order. If it's at level 5, that means you use it at its maximum potency or whatever. And you're trying to complete these actions, build out your zoo, put animals out into your zoo. You know, you're doing sponsorship cards. You're doing research. You're creating partnerships with certain
continents.
Yeah. So, and it's like so much. Now, honestly, at the time when Ark Nova came out, I wasn't really intimidated. I was excited because I was invested in the theme. And so when I got to play it, I was like, oh man, this is great. You know, it took a minute to figure out how everything works. But now when you ask me that, you know, when you said you ready to play Ark Nova, I was like, bet. And I was able to get it out on the table and I know how to play it right off. It didn't take a reteach, you know. So I was happy about that. Which that brings up another thing that could make a board game intimidating. Is learning the game.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, for me, that can make it intimidating. So here's the thing. As you know, I'm a teacher, so I know how to read and follow directions. But I do not like learning how to play a game that way. But if he is explaining the game to me, and it seems like he's talking and talking and talking. Not that he's going on and on and on, but I'm thinking, wait, there's more? What? We're not done yet. So that makes it feel intimidating if even explaining the game takes a long time, because
it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, that's an indication that there's a lot to think about and there's a lot to consider.
It's also intimidating on the other side of teaching, not that you're learning, but being the person that's teaching the game. Because I just played a game that, you know, I got early on this year. It's by a designer that I really care for, Vladimir Suki. And I played his other games as Underwater Cities. There's a game that you played, Woodcraft, that we both enjoyed. But this game is called Evacuation. Now, Evacuation is rated 3.99 out of 5. So it is a 4, pretty much, you know. Oh, speaking of which, Woodcraft, looking at the ratings for Woodcraft, that's the heaviest game you've played, according to Board Game Geek. And that's 3.83.
So it's a little bit heavier than
Ark Nova. Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with that. They're in the same range.
Yeah. So in Evacuation, it's pretty much you are deconstructing your engine and building your engine on a new planet. The theme is your planet is dying and you're relocating to another planet. And I was really interested in the theme of this game. You know, so I picked it up early this year, but it sat there. And every time I looked at it, I don't know if I'm ready. Because I even watched some videos, and it's just like you said, like there's more, which I knew there was more, but I wasn't taking it in. But finally, I decided to put my big boy pants on, and like, we're going to play this game. So I learned that there's certain YouTube channels that I go to. I also had the rule book. But there's YouTube channels that I want to see how they play. So there's John Gets Games. I love watching them. Before you play, which you'll hear about later, you know, they do great teachers. There's Paul Grogan. I'm on Gaming Rules. I watch his video. And, you know, I just want to make sure that I'm able to teach everything about this game. And that's why I appreciate when a game has a solo mode. Because not that I prefer solo, but I just want to understand everything so I can show people.
Solo really allows you to play the game. So one of the things that I think helps me overcome the complexity of a game is being invested in the theme. If the theme is interesting enough to me, I'm willing to put forth the effort to learn how to play it.
Yeah, and that's why I was interested in evacuation. Now, speaking of teach, there's a game by DeVere that I really, it's one of my favorite DeVere games. It's that one over there, Batoku. And I've learned Batoku. I've taught Batoku to two different groups of people. I taught Batoku at Dice Tower West, and I really like it. But as part of my board game challenge, I want to get it back to the table. And I'm intimidated by the reteach.
Why?
Because it's a lot. It's a point solidity game. It's a lot of ways to score points, and it's different actions.
And so you gotta make sure you remember everything.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, dragging my feet on that, but I definitely want to play it again.
Yeah.
Because I really do like it. And board games are meant to be played.
Now, the funny thing is, I always think about how hard it is to learn a game, but it is harder to teach it.
Yeah, it is, because you want to make sure you don't miss anything.
But plus, you have to explain it in a way that people understand it. One of the challenges for me when I'm first learning a game is, it's not enough to know what to do. I need to know, well, why am I doing that?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I watch Rado. Like Rado, he gives you a reason why you're doing this certain thing. He shows you the options. Like, I could do this, but I could go do this. And sometimes he makes a couple mistakes. Thank you, Paulo. But, I like watching him because he gives you an understanding of, not specifically how to play it, but why would you make this, do this action in the game.
Yes.
Now, speaking of point solidity, like I said, when I mentioned Batoku, there's another game that, you wanted to play, and that's Barcelona.
Yes.
Now, Barcelona is rated 3.34.
So it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, it's a little bit
Art
easier.
Nova and Woodcraft. And I'm going to agree with that. It took me a minute to kind of get the hang of Barcelona because there's a lot in my mind. There's a lot going on visually in Barcelona. Not that it's chaotic, but there's just a lot to see.
Yeah, there is. Barcelona is a beautiful game.
But the thing about Barcelona is in any one turn, you're only doing a limited number of things. Even though you have a lot of options, you're not doing them all in one turn, so that helps.
Yeah, and the thing is, the thing about Barcelona is, on your turn, you're doing a specific thing.
Exactly.
You taking your lower class or the middle class or the upper class, and you place them at a corner, and then you take those actions at the corner. So it's really, you're doing a specific thing. But the thing about Barcelona is, it's point solidity.
And another thing that makes a game intimidating is once you figure out how to play it, now you got to figure out how to maximize your actions,
how to do well,
and how to maximize your points. And that is a challenge for a game like Barcelona.
Yeah, because that's one of the reasons, like when I'm teaching Alicia a game, it's not about me winning, it's about helping her to understand why you're making certain decisions, because I want her to do well at the game, but I also want her to enjoy the experience, and I always do that whenever I'm teaching a game. There are some games that I actually prefer to teach and not play because it's a game that I'm going to try to win. So I'll just teach, So Barcelona is a great example, but it also brings up another thing that could make a board game intimidating is aesthetics. The way the game looks on the table.
Now, for me, any game that has a lot of moving parts is going to be intimidating. But honestly, the game that comes to mind whenever he says that for me is Skate Summer. And it's actually not a heavy game, but it's just so busy.
Yeah, it is. It is a busy board in Skate Summer.
And so, for me, it's just too much going on visually, and it's chaotic to me.
No. So we talked about complexity, aesthetics, figuring out the strategy, but another thing is, now when we played Ark Nova, we didn't play it in one sitting. We played it over. Ark Nova is a long game. So sometimes when you look at the side of the box, you find out this game takes, like, they'll say 90 minutes or 120 minutes. That can be intimidating because you want to know, do you really want to invest your time in this game?
Okay, so we have a house rule. Our house rule. I'm going to play a game for 2 hours. I don't care how long that game takes. He keeps it on the table. I'm like, I'm done for the night. And we'll come back to it. And probably if we play Ark Nova again, it wouldn't take us 3 nights. It would only take us 2. But I'm telling you, I don't care how much I love a game. My max is 2 hours.
Yep. So, speaking of like length of time, investing in it. Like, there are some games that I've looked at that I'm like, do I really want to invest the time? But I'm really invested in the theme, And so there are some Vita Lacerda games. Now, Vita Lacerda is like, he's always about heavy games.
Okay.
And there's a game, like, being that I played Evacuation,
okay,
there's another game that he has called On Mars.
Okay.
Which is kind of like in the same vein of
Okay.
theme. But that game, On Mars, is rated 4.67 out of 5.
Oh my goodness, so it's pretty hard.
So I am intimidated by that rating. But I'm still interested in playing it. Now, I've played other Vita Lacerda games. We have 2. We have Escape Plan, which is in my top 10. But that's actually considered one of his lighter games. Escape Plan is rated 3.67.
Okay.
Then there's Combine EV,
Okay.
where you're working in a car factory.
Okay.
And I love that game.
Okay.
And that game is rated 4.30. So Combine is kind of like the heaviest game in our collection that I've played.
Okay.
And he has a couple other games that I played. Lisboa, which is rated high in complexity. But I played it once with my Friday night board game group. I love Ted, Brian, and Ralph. When I play a heavy game with them, they really take the time to, like, it's not about it's not so competitive. We're just playing the game. Whoever wins, wins. So I enjoy playing with them.
Honestly, I love Ted, Ralph, and
Brian.
I'm sorry, I had a brain freeze. I love them because they're great guys. However, I do think some people, and you have often made this distinction between you and me, some people really like complex, heavy games. Me, not so much. I prefer medium weight games. Heavy games just don't appeal to me because they're just too much work.
Yeah, I understand.
And I think that's one of the things that is helps you with. That's why you like the Friday night group, because you get to play all of those heavy games. Because honestly, Woodcraft, Ark Nova, that's it.
I'm right there for you.
I'm not going any further past than that. Yeah, if a game is just too complicated and takes too long, it's just not gonna appeal to me.
Okay. Yeah. Now back to Lisboa. I played Lisboa. I actually won. And I went to, when I found out that we were playing Lisboa, I looked up video and I went to Monique and Naveen on Before You Play. Yeah. And they did a playthrough of Lisboa. Uh-huh. Thank you guys. You helped me win that game.
I was about to say, that's probably why you won.
Because I just love their explanation. And so we went over complexity, length of time, aesthetics, and figuring out the strategy. Another thing that can be intimidating is it's a mechanic that you're usually don't enjoy, or a mechanic and you haven't been introduced to or unfamiliar with, and that means it could be a lighter game. And so that's one of the things that I take into consideration when we're doing our board game meetup, board game get-togethers and stuff, is I try to teach games or bring games that are just add a little extra.
But when you say a game, a mechanic, give me I know what mechanics are, but give me an example of a game that's intimidating for you because of that.
Bidding. I'm not really great at bidding.
I don't really like it either.
I'm not great at bidding games, but there are some bidding games that I really enjoy. Like Ra. Okay. And I just there's just a few bidding games. Area control. Okay. I'm really not keen on that. Okay. So that could be intimidating, but sometimes there are some games that has that mechanic in it, like Dune Imperium. Okay. Dune Imperium is an excellent game, but it has that area control mechanic and that I really don't get into. Okay. So that could be intimidating because I'm not tactical like that. Okay. I'll figure out a puzzle, but I'm not a tactical person when it comes to, area control and stuff. Okay. But I like I say, I enjoy board games. Yes. But what I'm saying is aware, because sometimes playing lighter games can be intimidating to new board gamers. So like, as you notice, I've been collecting a lot of trick-taking games because a lot of people that we know play, they play spades, they know hearts. But then some of these trick-taking games, they add a little bit extra to it.
They add a twist.
Yeah, and some people are like, I don't know about this twist. I don't know if I'm okay with this twist or whatever. So I think when all is said and done, board games can be intimidating, whether it's a heavy game or whether it is a lighter game. And so I think in the end, we have to be aware that when we are bringing people into this hobby, when we're trying to take them past Monopoly and Sorry and all that, the mass market games, and introduce to these modern board games, there's going to be some difference. Like Monopoly and Sorry, you roll dice and you do what the dice say. Some of these games that take out the dice, now you have to think about.
Now you have to decide, and that can be intimidating.
Yeah, because be like, am I making the right decisions or whatever? So you just have to be aware and be patient.
Yeah, be patient. I think that's it. You have to be patient and you have to be patient. People in the hobby have to be patient with themselves too, because it's okay. You're not gonna. I think
it's just a game.
It's just a game. It's okay to make a mistake.
It's just a game. This is not life changing.
This hasn't happened a lot, but a couple of times we've played a game and then we realized, wait a minute, we misunderstood that rule.
Right.
We played it wrong. And I mean, so you live and you learn.
Yeah, that kind of happened with Arc Nova. She won. Asterisk. But it's okay. Did you enjoy yourself?
I did.
And you got through the intimidation. Because like I said, the first time I had it on the table, you were like,
I'm pretty sure, y'all, he tried to have me play it. It was during the school year. Maybe it wasn't on a Thursday or...
Oh, no. It was during the school year.
Okay.
It was not on a weekday.
It might not have been on the weekday, but still.
And so... the basis of the video is just letting you know board games can be intimidating.
But there are ways you can overcome that, and you think of ways to make it less intimidating so that we can bring more people into this great hobby that we love.
Right. Now, before we go, I had some other games that we haven't touched on. I did say Lisboa. Lisboa is rated 4.58.
So he does make complex.
But I played it and I won it. I'm geeked, you know. What else? Batoku is rated 3.75.
Okay.
You know, so I'm going to reteach that. Now, my second favorite game of all time is Anachrony. And that's rated 4.01.
Okay.
You might say it's a 4. It deserves that 0.01.
It's a 4.
No, it's 4.01. Trust me. But I was so invested in the theme, and I love that game.
Okay.
You know, and I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, be welcoming, be aware,
be patient,
help people along. Also, don't look at it like, you know, in your mind, it might be an easy game because you come so far into modern board games, but you have to look at it from their point of view and just help them along, you know, baby steps. You know, if you want to be a welcoming participant in bringing people into this board game hobby, you know. So that's all we have today. And I've been wanting to talk about this video for a while.
Okay.
You know? So I hope you enjoyed the content, contents of this video. Let me know in the comments, is there, you know, anything about board games that intimidates you, that's intimidating to you, you know? And be transparent. You know, we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this. And if you like the contents of this video, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And I'm Dwayne.
I'm Alicia.
This has been Blackboard Gaming.
We will see you next time.